Good morning. Happy Monday. So good to be back with all of you. Gosh, it was, it's been an interesting few weeks. It's so good to be with all of you. Thank you for coming. Um, yes, and I'm just going to quick report that my dog is doing well and, yeah, just learned some new things about what he needs moving forward. He's turning 11 on this week on the 17th. He'll be 11. So his needs are changing, and now I have a better understanding of things moving forward. So thank you for all your prayers and your love. So kind of you. So kind. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad that it didn't turn out to be anything, that it was a pretty simple fix. But anyway, I'm just very grateful. So today, I don't really have, oh, it's lovely to see you, Ravenheart. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And there was another chat. Somebody chatted before mine, and now I don't see it in the chat. It was like someone, Dr. TM. I don't know who that. I don't know who you are, but if you're here, thanks for leaving a little message in the chat. Maybe it was just for me. Ravenheart, good to see you, my dear, and Jane, yay, and Eugenia, lovely to see you, and Ricardo. Yes, thank you. Me as well. Pamela, so nice to see you. Yes, they are my little babies, and both of them are aging. One of my dogs is 15. She'll be 15 in September. Excuse me. So almost 15, and the younger one will be 11. So yeah, caring for them in their twilight years is it's a learning curve for me. Actually, I've never had a pet uh, that has gotten elderly before, so this is all a new road for me. Leslie Ann, it's so good to see you here, my dear. Thank you for coming, and yes, so happy that Joey is doing just fine. So oh yes, oh sorry. Maya and I are trying to get everything set for registration for Mother's online retreat that's coming up at the end of August, the last weekend of August, first day of September. And so registration should that open for that hopefully either today or tomorrow. that's our goal. We'll see if we can hit our goal. But I am really excited about this retreat. Mother has just been building the energy so exquisitely. And whether you've ever been to one of Mother's longer events or not, I highly recommend it. It is, yeah, it's just going to be awesome. And I do have a few scholarships available if that's something that you need. And I'll send all that out in the email. Hopefully, like I said, either today or tomorrow. So yeah, it's going to be a powerful gathering. All right, let's dive in. Hello, beloved ones. It is wonderful to be here with you today. Thank you for joining me, for giving of your time, your presence, and your love. It is always a joy to commune with you. So today I'm going to continue what we started with trust. And I'm going to continue with a different spiritual tenet, but I want you all to know that all these are entwined. They are not meant really to be mastered separately, as they all dovetail beautifully with each other. All these spiritual tenets support each other in their expression, in how they come alive within you, and how you come alive within them. So today I'm going to talk about surrender. And I have talked about this before, and most likely at some point in the future, I will talk about it again. Why is that? Because it is one of the most important spiritual tenets. And now that you sort of began this process with me with trust, you've explored trust, you've spent some time contemplating trust, and hopefully some of you did the meditation on trust, and maybe you're starting to feel something shift within your perception about trust. And as a result, you are feeling a different alignment with trust. And so we come to surrender having started with trust. So I want to begin first by saying that the most vital step in building a relationship coming aligned with surrender, allowing surrender to become live within you, for you to live within surrender. It is important for you to recognize if you have any kind of history or current experience of being a part of a group of people because of your race or your biological sex or your choice in gender or your choice in biological sex, your religion. If you have been the recipient of prejudice, whether that is the extent or the amount doesn't matter, because when you are the recipient of prejudice, bigotry, hatred, when you are looked at as less than because of simply who you are, how you were born, or how you choose to worship, or your family chooses to worship, you may find that you struggle with surrender more than others. If you have a history of trauma, abuse, whether it is childhood, whether it is adulthood, you may have a very difficult time with surrender, because it is easy to confuse surrender with helplessness or powerlessness. When you are experiencing abuse, or you are being trapped in a certain way of life because the majority forces you to live that way, or they put up roadblocks so that your expansion is constantly being impeded. That is the sense of helplessness, that things are out of your control, that you cannot seem to move beyond them, and the toll that prejudice, abuse, hatred takes on you, if you are the target of that, the toll it takes on you is very heavy indeed. So, please explore that, beloved ones. Please don't assume that because maybe you do belong to one of these groups, but your life has been fairly good, and maybe you have not been the direct target of certain hatreds or prejudices, or maybe it's been at such a level that you've been able to say, well, it's not great, but it's okay. When it comes to the spiritual tenet of surrender, it is vital for you to really explore what that actually means for you. How does that word translate in your mind, in your heart, your emotions, your body, your energy field, right? If you don't take the time to explore this and understand it, you may find that you cannot go as deeply as you may be capable of going, or you won't allow yourself to go as deeply into surrender as you are capable of, because it is too painful, too frightening, too tender. You might feel the kind of vulnerability that doesn't feel safe to you. So make sure you begin this exploration with honesty. And for you, shift that word of surrender into letting go. Or you could think of surrender as the sacred act of letting go. And because what I'm presenting to you here are divine spiritual tenets. So these are things that transcend the human relation, or the way humans define things, or oftentimes the way humans express things. But that doesn't mean you can bypass your human experience to embrace these tenets. There is a reason that you may have difficulties with surrender. Honor those reasons, explore them, and start to see where you might be able to make small adjustments. Because this tenet is not about giving yourself over to be harmed or abused. It is not about being less than. You see, that's human beings have made surrender about being less than, that someone greater than comes in and takes over in some way, shape, or form, and the people that are taken over are less than, inferior. So human beings often use surrender as the opposite of dominance or possession. And it is based on that imaginary scale that humans have of superiority and inferiority. But when we are talking about sacred surrender, when we are talking about transcending human beliefs, human definitions, you are in a different realm. And sacred, divine surrender, it is that energy of relief. That's why it may be better for you to really just use the words letting go. Because what divine surrender offers is relief from your burdens that your acquired self gathers and creates and maintains along the way throughout your life. So you can think of this relationship with sacred surrender as a setting down of your burdens, sort of having them lifted off your shoulders, off your back, however you imagine it. And you can just set it down and keep on going. That divine surrender has absolutely nothing to do with dominance, the loss of your rights as a human being, the loss of your autonomy as a unique individual. It has nothing to do with that. It is the unburdening process. It is the letting go of your acquired self that is causing you too many limitations, too many problems. We in the divine, those of love and light, never wish for you to feel inferior. We are not here to be superior, so that then you have to feel inferior. So when I ask you to surrender to me, to let go, that is not so that I can have dominance over you. It is so we can commune. It's about letting me in, or letting the divine in, letting love in. And letting go of anything that stands between you and love, between you and I. So divine surrender is about moving through those barriers so that you are filled with light. You are filled with love. That there is no more separation between you and yourself, the relationship you have with yourself. Between you and I, between you and love, between you and life, as you choose to live it. And even though it can feel in the mind, it can seem absolutely wrong to get on your knees in humility or in surrender, to prostrate yourself. These are ancient spiritual practices that to the mind may say, no, that's humiliation. That is putting me at an inferior height or place and making something superior. But it isn't. It is a recognition within self that you don't have all the answers. That when you isolate yourself within yourself, It doesn't work. You are not designed that way. You as a human being are designed to commune, not just with the physical world around you, but with the divine world as well, with your own spirit. And so when people get on their knees in surrender, when they prostrate themselves, get low to the ground in surrender, it is not so that they can be subjugated or humiliated or enslaved. It is that just knowing within yourself that you need help, you need partners, you need relief from whatever it is that is weighing you down. So if you have struggled with the word surrender or the concept of surrender, explore where you get hung up and really explore it honestly. That yes, you may get hung up on the human definitions or how others take advantage of spiritual tenets and twist them into something that they are not. But see if you can find room inside to explore a new perception of surrender, a new understanding of divine surrender. That it may not be at all what you think it is. Your spirit knows the value of surrender. It knows the value of recognizing when you need guidance, when you need the feeling that you are comforted, that you are held, that you are supported. And the only way as a human being you get to feel those things is when you let go. You let go of the mindset that you should have all the answers, that you should know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, there's something wrong with you. So then you have to cover that up. And you have to act like there isn't anything wrong with you. And you know exactly what you're doing in every moment, in every circumstance, in every relationship. And that is the false sense of living. That is not true to your essence, to your divine self. That is about your acquired self, how others perceive you, how you need to be perceived by others, how you want to be perceived by others. There's a lot that goes into that. And divine surrender says, let's find another way. Divine surrender invites you into the letting go, the making room for something new, something that does work, something that is truly supportive rather than might just be supportive by society standards, but not necessarily by your standards, your true standards. And when you trust in yourself, when you trust in the divine, when you trust love, then surrender is much easier because you already know what you're surrendering to, what you're making room for, what's going to replace whatever it is you were hanging on to that you are now letting go of. And this is, I would say, beloved ones, the most difficult of all the spiritual tenets to practice, to become comfortable with, to become easy with. Because you live in your human world. And surrender has a very bad experiential meaning for humans. So maybe you need to be very conscious as you move through this process, starting with identifying how you truly feel about surrender, what fears there may be, how to bring love to those fears, to calm them down, to try to recall times when you did surrender, whether consciously or unconsciously, and it worked out okay. No one stormed in to abuse you or enslave you or to take over or to deny you what you need, that it had a positive outcome. Maybe it didn't involve human beings, maybe it was divinely orchestrated. But whatever your experience is, recall them. Really recall them and sit with them and bring trust into the moment. And invite the presence of sacred surrender in. Whether you go to your knees or you prostrate on the ground, you lie down on your back on Mother Earth, or you're just sitting in a chair in your home, it doesn't matter. Invite the sacred presence of surrender in. Feel its letting go qualities. Feel how that term letting go comes with so much relief when you are letting go of things that you've been dragging around for a long time. There is enormous relief. There's a big rush of energy that becomes available to you. Remember all these elements as you begin to develop your relationship to sacred surrender, to divine surrender. Whatever words you have to use, however you need to look at it, that's fine, as long as you are exploring it with honesty. Without assumptions. It is the time in your lives where you start to separate out human behavior and divine presence. Human laws, human cultural norms, shadow expression through humans, and their light expression. And you start to unwind these old mindsets that for the most part may have been deeply ingrained in the human experience. But if you commune with these energies themselves without attaching any kind of human behavior or actions or historical human behavior to these spiritual concepts, these spiritual principles, then you will discover a whole new world inside of you. So next time we are together, I'm going to take you through a glorious meditation with divine surrender, sacred letting go. But take this time over the next few days to contemplate, to take an honest look at what surrender means to you and how you can start the process of shifting it to a better place. A place of ease, a place of comfort, a place of welcome. That no matter what your past, your ancestral past have experienced in your world, that these spiritual tenets are here to help you transcend those burdens, to more fully embrace your joy, to shift your perceptions in such a way that you are no longer burdened by the past, and that you can step out of whatever is in the present that is harming you, that is weighing you down. So enjoy your time in this exploration, beloved ones. And let me come along for the journey. Because together, we can do anything. Namaste. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Gosh, yes. As Mother was talking, I was just thinking about all the ways I still use my past to justify not exploring certain spiritual possibilities that I just sort of, I can't do that, or that's not for me, or no, it's those snap judgments, those snap decisions that when it comes to my spiritual life and my spiritual exploration and expansion is probably not so great. So this is a really good reminder, and I'm looking forward to experiencing that exploration this week. You're so welcome, Leslie Ann. Hope you have a great week as well. And Diane, that is such an unusual spelling. I would love to know how you pronounce it. Diane, that is so beautiful. I've never heard that name before. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. Virginia, so good to see you, my dear. Yes, thank you. It is good to be back. You're so welcome, Ricardo. And Sunflower, it's so lovely to hear you. Oh, yep, spot on. Oh, yes, I hear you, my dear. I hear you. I'm glad that this was timely for you. I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I hope, depending on where you live in the world, that you are staying cool, or whatever environmental issues you are having in your region of the world, that you stay safe and that you're all right. I'm sending lots of love and light to all of you. Leah, it's good to see you here, my dear. Thank you all and have a great week. And I will, hopefully, as we say in the South, the Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I will be here. I'll be here next Monday. Oh, Penny, that's awesome. It's so good to see you, my love. Mwah. Big hugs to all of you. And